Hey folks, welcome back to Two Awesome Dads Adventures. It's been a while, I know, but we're back in earnest. Yes, it is April 1st, 2023, but it's no April Fool's joke. We are back, and we're tonight going to do a install on the headlight guard. So in a way, it's kind of like Back to the Future. We started with one of our very first install videos on the 2019 BMW R1250GS with a headlight guard. And so we're kind of going back to our origins. A little bit of background now. Here we are, year 4. Got a fair amount of miles on this beautiful bike. One thing we did find though is that headlight guard from Touratech, excellent on the road, the paved roads. But when we got off-road, you get the dirt, the dust on it. Get to the campsite, it would be lathered, covered, almost no light getting through it at all. So I thought, well, you know what? Is there an alternative? Because otherwise, you got to get your microfiber cloth, you got to get the right water, you got to have the sun in the right spot, you got to make sure you've got refreshments and you're in the right sense of mind to clean it up. But over time, it's not looking quite like it's new, and obviously it's not going to. It's there to protect that expensive headlight lens, and we're talking expensive, euros, whatever, it's expensive. Well, we thought, let's go back to Touratech and take a good look at the options. And one of the simple options is to go with the metal headlight guard. Well, this is going to be a short episode because we don't need to do all the bracket install. We'll just refer you up the top there to the previous one for that. But we're just going to talk about putting on the metal one, the advantages, and maybe if there are some disadvantages. So stay tuned. We're going to open up this bad boy and go from there. All right, so let's do the fun part, the opening. Got my trusty knife here. Let's go. Remember, we're not going to do much with these brackets because they're already on the bike from the previous install. What we're going to try to do here is get to the real meat of this bad boy, the headlight guard itself, without taking any fingers off or having to give any blood donations. I tell you, I love that. There we go, got it. And then all the screws and stuff. So here it is, there's the metal bracket. Gonna be a little easier to clean when you get off road, won't it? All right, next, we're going to walk over to that big, beautiful, big blue motorcycle and see how easy it is to put it on.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. Just for the sake of the video and all our mutual time, I did some pre-assembly and I assembled 3 of the 4 of these kind of pins. So it requires a 4mm Allen key. And on the back, it requires an 11mm wrench or socket. Now, I'll tell you, I started off with an 11mm wrench, and it can do a bit of a job on the back of these, what appears to be maybe a nylon or a plastic kind of nut. So I gravitated to getting my socket and putting that on, and that was less abusive than it was with the wrench. So, how do we get started? I have a nice cloth here because don't do this on your wife's favorite tablecloth because I don't know how good this blue thread locker comes out. So heads up, just a little bit of a warning to make sure your spouse doesn't get upset.
Jeff might be in trouble.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we take the bolt washer and it comes in from the front. And how do you know there's a front? Because it says Touratech at the bottom and there's a slight curve to the exterior part of it. You then take this brass insert and put it on there. And I found it takes a moment or two. You want to cross thread. Hey, this is a good point to stop. Just want you to know when Jody and I put anything on our bikes, we pay for it. We buy it. No freebies from nobody. And I can tell you, my wife knows that for a fact when she sees that Visa statement. So just so you know, we're on this, our own hook, our own dollar. All right, back to regular programming and the install. So I take my 4mm Allen key. I'm going to take my socket, and here's another tidbit. This is not Mr. Universe. You don't need to over tighten it. Over tighten leads to grief. Grief leads to sadness, and grief and sadness lead to more money and a bigger visa bill. So just go on here until it's snug, so it has no more play to it. Boom, we're done. And there it is, nice and smooth. We take the Allen key out. There we go. And that's it. Same procedure to all four corners. And then we're gonna go pop off the old and put on the new. Hey folks, now comes the fun part, the install. To do that though, we're gonna position the bike so you can see it even better. But even more to the point, we can do that with a lot less effort by the ABBA motorcycle lift. Easy peasy. I don't have to be Mr. Universe to be able to move the bike around, so I can make sure Jody can see it the way he likes it. And we want to make sure he's happy too. How's that? There we go. So there's the original headlight guard. Looks pretty good. It's showing some wear and tear, and most of it because of going off-road, all that dirt and grime trying to clean it, and my OCD's kicking in. It's got some pretty nasty scratches, but more importantly, saved us having it on the lens itself, where it would probably cost a few kids university tuition. All right, so there's the new one. Same basic format, same shape, but it has a real kind of off-road aggressive look. Now, it's called quick release. That easy to take off. And again, just as a comparison, you can see the two, they look exactly the same, except of course one's made out of a clear plastic and the other has that metal. So we're going to take that and line it up. Now see, there's those brackets. You just have to watch the previous or Back to the Future video, the first one, to see how easy it is to mount. And again, quick release. You'll line up the four and press them in. Snap, there you go. Boom, that easy. Look at that. That gives a real bit of a change to it, doesn't it? It's like changing my glasses. I either look like James Bond or else I look like Barney. This way, now off-roady look. That easy to put on. Thanks very much for watching this far in the video. Remember, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and we're going to do more videos on these installs on the BMW R1250GS. So stay tuned, and thanks again, everybody. Bye for now. All right, folks, we're going to do the install. Step one, we're going to move this beautiful bike so you can see it better. To do that, I'm going to use my ABBA motorcycle thingamabob to move this sucker.